Hey everybody, it's Robert here. I'm from Pensacola, Florida. We are all about doing better, growing abundantly, gaining financial independence on this channel, and removing any type of toxic behaviors, relationships, just improving everything all the way around. One of the things that I wanted to talk about is 5 tips having to do with getting along better with a contractor. I have so many people that approach me in some regard or, ask questions having to do with, well, how do I know I'm not getting taken? How do I know this? How do I find somebody that'll show up? How do I find somebody that's going to get along with, all kinds of different questions. So in today's episode, we're going to answer all those questions and hopefully make it a more pleasurable experience the next time you do hire somebody to do some work for you. So stay tuned. My first tip for you about getting along with a contractor is kind of being respectful of their time. And what I mean by that is that so many people call us and for some reason just have this perception that we're not busy, we don't have anything going on, and it's immediately all about them. And they want you to rush right out there. They want an estimate, within, a couple hours or a day or two or anything like that. One is, if somebody's got that much time on their hands, they're not doing business. Number 2, that's very scary because if they're not doing business, there's usually a reason for it. I don't know what it is, whether it's poor craftsmanship, they're just bad at what they do, they don't show up on time, that I couldn't tell you or whatnot, but I would be very scared about somebody that's able to drop everything. Some cases, somebody calls me and it's like, 3 blocks over, from where I'm working. Yeah, I can get over there and give you an estimate pretty quick, but otherwise it's going to, generally speaking, be a few days, The second tip is that when I show up and I go to start talking to you about pricing and everything, and then you automatically start saying something to, well, I got a buddy of mine that'll do it for, $1,000 cheaper, or my cousin will do it, for only $10 an hour or something like that. Why did you call me? That's my question. Why did you call me if you have somebody that's going to do it cheaper? Because now you're not being respectful of my time because you've already got it in your mind that you're going to go with somebody else. And so, the questions that you have to ask, you could have just asked me over the telephone and it would have showed me that you have respect for my time. The best thing you can do is just be straight up with us and say, hey, look, I don't think I can afford somebody like you, but I have these questions. I'll be more than happy to answer. And I'll even tell you, thank you for not getting me to come out there and kind of be deceitful and go through the whole process of getting an estimate when there's absolutely no chance of me getting the job. So, be honest with us, be respectful of our time, and I have a couple more tips for you just coming up. One thing also is that a lot of times I run into people and I kind of ask them, I said, do you somewhat have a budget that you're working with or something to that effect? And then they're very hesitant about saying anything. And usually what that tells me is that they have no idea as far as what the costs go having to do with the project. And the thing about it is that, you can do a lot of research on the internet and, you can call like a tile place and say, hey, what on average is the price per square foot if, nobody has to take, if it's new construction and somebody's putting tile down on a floor, what's the cost? Is it $3 a square foot, $4, $5, somewhere in there? Just ask those things. And so, it really helps to be educated because that way you'll know if somebody's really trying to put one over you on and basically rob you blind, or if you're getting a smoking deal and you need to jump on it and sign the contract that minute. So the thing is that kind of educate yourself and be aware. Talk to other people that have had remodeling projects done, or a garage built, an addition, or a new roof put on the house. Find out how much is, generally speaking, you're looking at about $300 a square here in Pensacola to have a new roof put on your house. So when you have that information, you become armed as far as making a better educated decision than just flying off the, shooting off the hip and everything. And so the results are dramatically increased by educating yourself. That's my other tip for you. Hey, my final tip for you today is ask a lot of questions, okay? If that person is not willing to take the time out and answer those questions with you, then probably you're not going to be a good fit for a working relationship. And it needs to be truly a partnership, okay? We need to do a good job and get paid. You deserve a quality product that you're getting paid for. or that you're paying for, and you also need to get exactly what it is that you were looking for, okay? The other part of that asking questions is ask for a scope of work, okay? If somebody hands you a scope of work that says this or something very similar, run as far as you can, okay? Because this is going to be the contract that you're going to sign, and remodel house for 15,000. You know what your definition of remodeling is and what their definition of remodeling is going to be two entirely different things, okay? And so if you sign something like that, don't expect something good to come from it, because it's probably going to end up being disastrous. You know, you need to get a work scope that everything's going to be itemized as far as what they do. Like if somebody was going to be painting a room, part of it on there should be, remove wall plates, so that they can paint behind them and then reinstall them as well, okay? Everything needs to be listed on there that's going to get done to ensure that you get a quality job. That way things go so much smoother, because you need to have a great understanding of what is going to take place and what you're going to get exactly for your money. And if they start hemming and hawing and trying to crawfish, fast talk, double talk, or anything like that, head to the city. Get out of there. Don't proceed any further. The other part of it is like with us, if somebody wants us to do a job, we go do it, give them an estimate, we agree on it, they get the work scope, looks good, I get 30% down, that locks them in on the schedule. I go ahead and block the time out for my crew to be there and get the job done, and then we proceed forward from that. When people start asking for more than 30%, I would be very leery, because what that kind of tells me is that they don't have a whole lot of operating capital, and a couple of reasons: they could be new in business, but a lot of times it's that they mismanage their money. And it also depends on the size of the job. As far as one of our things is how much we get on the hook for to start with. We could paint the interior and exterior of a house and need to go and buy $4,000 worth of paint, and if it's a special color or something like that, I might ask for that customer to go purchase the paint themselves, so I'm not stuck with that in case they decide to change their mind. But it kind of with the down payment, it gives them some skin in the game as well, to also fulfill the agreement that we have and follow through with it. So again, it's got to be a partnership for this to work. These are your tips on having a better experience with a contractor.